All right. I hope you got your sandwich, your podcast eating sandwich, because we're going to go right back into part 2 of our coverage of the California primary we're focusing just on the Senate primary, all 35 candidates, or close to it. So sit back and enjoy, in case you're listening at a job that requires you to stand, in which case I'm sorry.
So, you know what? Let me tell you this. How could you not vote for somebody for Senate named President Christina Grappo? Her name is President.
Yes.
Christina Grappo. Senator.
Yes.
President Christina Grappo. That's what she's going for.
That reminds me of the Guar song.
She looks really unhappy.
Yeah.
Like, really, really unhappy with the state of America.
I thought maybe it was because she, tattooed World Star Hip Hop on her forehead.
Well, obviously that would have been photoshopped out here.
Oh, okay. But yeah, she did change her name to President, her first name to President.
Did she change her name to President?
Yeah, I looked it up.
She
changed her first name to President.
Well, you know what? That person is a doer.
And she represents the Democratic Party.
She didn't waffle around. She's like, I know this sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to do it. Because I think it, I can do it, I will achieve it.
Yeah.
She's halfway there.
Vini Vidi Vici, man.
President, for today it's Senator. Tomorrow I'll be President. And then she'll be President, Christina Grappo.
That's kind of like, the Guar song, Dr. Mr. Mrs. Professor Head Skull, Head Face?
Oh, yeah, who doesn't? No, not really.
Oh, okay, that's what that reminds me of.
Yeah, that's, okay.
Am I the only one who listens to Guar?
Nobody listens to Guar. People just watch it. Guar is performance art. It's not really music.
They do have some music videos.
There's music that's playing, and they play the music. But Guar is not really about the music. Whether you like it or not, it's not about the music. I don't think anybody goes to a Guar show and says, oh, well, I'm only really here for the music. I really wish they'd stop with the giant worm that ate the woman in the bikini.
So their lead singer when he died, he had a Viking funeral.
Did he die? I didn't.
Yeah, Humongous Arungus died a few years ago, and his fans shot flaming arrows into a boat that has his corpse on it, and it sank into a lake.
I'm picturing that in his regular life, he was just this totally normal dude that wanted a peaceful ceremony with his family and friends. He was just like, oh man,
yeah,
man, I took this too far.
Well, but he was replaced by 2 new members of Guar, Blothar the Space Viking and Volvatron.
Volvatron, that sounds like a roller derby.
The Derby girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, she might be.
Volvatron. They come up with the best names.
They do.
There's one in the LA Derby Dolls that calls herself Wolverine.
Oh, man. Is that for the LA team?
That's for the LA Derby Dolls up in, oh gosh, where are they? They're up downtown somewhere.
Oh, okay.
But to me, downtown is everywhere that's not Torrance.
Right.
San Diego is downtown.
I since I actually live in the center of it all.
Oh, I can take the train everywhere.
Yeah, it's great. I like trains.
Yeah, shut up.
All right.
Anyway, back to President Christina Grappo for Senate.
She has a Facebook page.
Does she have a Facebook page?
Yeah, it's. Oh, oops.
I just started playing something. I'm not sure what that was.
It was from Wells Arc.
So she doesn't have a Facebook page here. Although she does. Okay, so let me read this statement, because this is all that we have about her. So, if she's the one that's going to end up saving our country, you're going to have to base it on this. My education and expertise merits this prolific occupation in order to represent California as United Senator. English may not be the first language. I hold a Democratic Party platform with key issues for gun control, human trafficking, balancing the national deficit, and foreign policy initiatives. Sounds like good stuff. She is, I quote, I am mainstream Facebook in social media! Exclamation point. I am mainstream Facebook and social media. My core values drive America. I don't know. But she is mainstream Facebook and social media. She's hip with the kids. Perhaps to finally galvanize young voters in America, President Christina Grappo needs to be in charge.
So I'm on her Facebook page.
And does she share it? Does she share it with people who aren't
her Facebook page is open to everybody.
As opposed to Pamela Elizondo?
She is mainstream in Facebook social media. So
that's great.
I am.
What do you suppose that means? You think that means like she's just saying she's on Facebook?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, it's like I am organizational in Excel media. But anyway, she's got her statement here in all caps on her Facebook page.
That's how enthusiastic she is about it. Everything is just driving her to shout.
Right.
She loves America.
What do you think people would do if they didn't have a caps lock key, but they wanted to shout in typing?
They'd probably punch their keyboard.
Oh.
You would just see the regular text, and then eventually, like, the letters would start getting all fucked up. Like, you'd get a lot of K's, and then, like, the L key would get stuck, and then, like, you'd have a whole bunch of blanks. Like, the enter key got stuck for a while, and then, like... Then you'd see very concerted typing trying to like substitute letters. Like B's would replace with D's.
And then E, like and T's. CKX.
Everybody would start using like leet speak and replacing T's with sevens, That's how you knew they were passionate about America.
So people out there who want to show your passion, show me that you're really passionate by actually just randomly inserting capital letters. Because that way, like, I just show you barely have control. Like, you are so enthusiastic, like, motor control is starting to cease in your hands.
That's not a bad idea.
I mean, all caps shows that, like, you still have it together enough to be consistent.
Yeah, there should be typos everywhere.
just shitloads of typos.
Rage.
Yes.
Rage and hope for the future. Rage and hope. Hope and rage? Rage and hope.
Oh, that would be such a great campaign poster.
Rage and hope?
Yeah.
2022.
Rage and hope.
Not officially running yet.
Nope, not at all. We are taking donations.
No, I think actually that's the illegal part. Wasn't there some campaign finance law that Hillary Clinton was supposed to have been like getting into trouble for because she announced like too early or something?
I think maybe like her pile of money was so large that it like broke the walls of it and then smashed an orphanage.
That woman. No respect for orphanages.
Yep.
So okay, so what's her stance? What are we voting for here? Christina Grappo.
I think that she has the wherewithal to name herself president, and that she has a Facebook page.
That's great.
I don't know. I'm kind of impressed when people do that sort of thing. It's like,
well, she was president enough to realize she had to share it to the public if she was going to run for Senate.
Changing your first name to president is kind of like when Steve-O tattooed your name on his ass.
Yeah, but Steve was a good guy.
No, I'm just saying, like, that takes commitment to a joke.
It does take commitment. Well, is commitment enough to save this country?
It's enough to hurt it.
That's true. Double-edged sword there, I guess.
So, the one that... There's actually one person who... Paul Merritt has an under construction page.
Who's Paul Merritt?
His candidate page is this. It's just a stack of rocks. Here, let me pull it up.
A stack of rocks?
Here, let me show you. It's an under construction page. This is all it is.
Oh. What those rocks represent the building blocks of American society.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So he's proposing to rebuild America in a precarious place next to a bunch of waves.
He's got an Orange County...
it actually says wave making in progress.
Right, and it says check back soon for cool stuff in things.
Considering the election is like... the primary is like...
Less than a month, yeah.
He should probably finish that webpage. He doesn't seem like a guy that does things on time, which probably makes him perfect for the U.S. Senate.
Yeah.
He's probably pretty good at filibustering. In fact... people would probably have to wait for his filibuster. He'd probably be like, I'll be right there. I'm going to start talking, just wait. It'll come like 3 weeks later. Everybody will be dead in their chairs from starvation. And he'll talk for like 72 hours and be like, I'm done.
And that is why I think trees should have the right to vote. And then some senator's head just like falls off their corpse and then bounces into the aisles.
If this goes online, you're going to end up on a list.
Which list is that? The list of really amazing talk shows?
Yeah, the FBI keeps it.
I thought it was the NSA. No sugar added. So, All right, that one I just wanted to bring up. Then the next one here.
Well, okay, so
I
am not going to vote for that guy. Let's take a look at Karen Rosenberry. By far, my greatest disappointment in this booklet.
Oh yeah,
so Karen Rosenberry is a Republican candidate from Palmdale, which is where Lockheed Martin Skunk Works is, and all the cool stuff happens. And
they build trains there.
Her statement, the entire statement, is "Save the Future." But SAVE is an acronym. It's capital SAVE, the future. And I thought this would be something cryptic and potentially hilarious. But I went to her website.
What does SAVE stand for?
Karen Roseberry for Senate. And SAVE stands for Security. By providing real foreign policy solutions through the strengthening of our military, trustworthy commitment to our allies, and unwavering word in our diplomatic negotiations. A is for accountability in the economy by establishing a fair and simplified tax code requiring a fiscally responsible budget, reducing regulations in the private sector to promote job creation, and restoring practices that support the great American work ethic. V is for values. Values for America. Life, liberty, freedom, and opportunity. Upheld and protected. E is for educational excellence, pursued in our schools with local answerability, choice, and opportunities in all fields of study. Nothing funny at all. Crap.
I thought it would be funnier if it was like one of those recursive acronyms.
I thought it was going to be something like a James Bond villain thing, where it's like the organization was called like Evil, but it was like an acronym for something hilarious, right? No, she's apparently pro-military,
like schools,
pro-job, reducing regulations on companies, boosting education. Nothing funny. So if you're looking for a funny candidate, Karen Roseberry is not for you. Although if you look at her forums, there's a lot of really mean people in there.
Yeah, actually,
you might want to just give her a vote to.
There are a lot of trolls on her forums on her campaign page.
Yeah, there's. Let's see. Let me find one here.
There are a lot of like "kill yourself, loser."
Here.
Oh, okay.
Concerned GOP. Oh, all right. So if you consider yourself a member of the Grand Old Party, one of your fellows said, "Stop wasting yours and the voters' time. You are so far out of your league, you are making a joke out of a serious election. Maybe start out as a volunteer for a school board candidate." Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. That's those
are pretty rough words from somebody who decided not to grow their beard above their chin.
All right. I'm not letting you use that twice. But yeah, so yeah, Karen Rosenberry for Senate. Pretty boilerplate. Overuses acronyms, in my opinion, without any.
Even though that's just one acronym, but that was too much.
Hey, if you're going to use an acronym, it's got to be powerful. You can't just be like, oh, well, my acronym stands for, like, let's do some stuff.
Like fair and responsible technology.
Yeah. Some people don't include the A in acronyms.
I don't, because fart is a word and effort.
Fart.
That's like a fart that can't quite get out. That causes embolisms, right?
No, I didn't actually, but I can see how it would.
That's why I make an extra effort to push it out.
I am aware of that. I am too aware of that. Like that time you farted in front of the map and made me look at the map without telling me you had farted there.
That means there was something that was in my colon that is now in your nose.
It's now in my bloodstream. So there's two other candidates, and it's funny they come right after each other. There's Vaughn Hugo, the Republican, and Jason Hanania.
Hanania. Oh, hand banana.
Okay, so one's from Santa Clarita, and the other one's from San Francisco. So it seems kind of funny that the Northern California is kind of encapsulated right here in this guide.
Santa Clarita is not Northern California.
It's kind of up there, isn't it?
Santa Clarita is up where Magic Mountain is at.
Oh, is that Santa Clarita?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking Santa Clara.
Yeah.
God damn it, we need
I
we
told
need
you
more distinctive names here in California.
I did research at work.
That's great. I'm doing it live. I'm doing it live, off the cuff. Anyway.
I have a job.
So Von Hugo, his entire stance here is that he's going to become a senator and work with California-based tech companies to develop a voter-driven platform that allows you to voice your opinion on every bill before Senate. He's actually got one of the longer statements in this book, and it all goes to describing this app, basically.
If you vote for him, we get an app.
Yeah, if you vote for him, he'll write an app. And don't get me wrong, it sounds like a great app. But the last thing I need is for my senator to spend all his time writing an app when he should be enacting legislation.
Well, actually, wouldn't his app replace senators if all we're going to do is vote on stuff?
Yeah, but at least we could see... Well, we're not voting on it directly. It's kind of like an easier way of writing your senator. I actually think it's a great idea, right? An app where, like, you can vote and tell your senator what you think. It's not a bad idea. But if your entire candidate statement is the app, then I don't know why he's just not going to write the app. You don't have to run for Senate to write the app.
Well, maybe if he became a senator, he could mandate the use of the app.
I suppose. He could force the other senators to use the app. Through an iron fist.
Yeah, like, Mark Zuckerberg did with Facebook.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want this app, you got to vote for Von Hugo, Republican, Santa Clarita, California.
Right, which is not Northern California.
Yeah, which is not Northern California, I'm told. It's Southern California.
Yeah, it's still LA County.
North, south, same thing. And then right after this guy, there's Jason Hanania. San Francisco, California. And obviously this guy's a techie because his statement
is one character in binary.
Is in binary, and it's 01100101, which in binary I think is like the letter E.
So I looked up what that means.
Uh-huh.
It is the letter E.
It is the letter E.
And the reason he put the letter E in binary, and this is on his website, because I didn't make this up.
I actually didn't go to his website.
Okay, so I went to his website, and it's, again, I do have a job. It's the letter E, and it's the first letter of his idea of e-voting and e-democracy.
Wait, hold on a second. So Von Hugo and Jason Hanania,
yeah,
they're talking about the same thing. Essentially.
Yeah,
they're talking about apps.
Well, one's talking about an app, and one's talking... Well, he doesn't mention an app specifically.
Well, I mean, we're talking about, like, creating a true democracy through tech, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this putting binary in your candidate statement is kind of elitist.
It's going to filter out
like 99% of voters.
At least
more than 99%.
More than that.
Because you know what I thought when I saw this?
He said he was a robot.
I knew this was binary. I knew this was like a letter, and I was like, "Screw this guy! Screw this guy! Just write what you want to say."
But I was intrigued, and I went like, "Okay, what? Why the letter E?" And eventually, and it was like a choose your own adventure book.
Well, you know what it is? It's like you want to introduce the system to allow all Americans to participate in government, while at the same time trying to get there by making the most like obscure reference possible that like no one's going to understand. There's something disconnected about that.
I would really love to vote for a candidate that just used nothing but Simpsons references in their candidates.
No. Quotes from Pride and Prejudice. That's it. Tolstoy and Pride and Prejudice. That's it. And you got to be wearing like hipster clothes, right? Handlebar mustache, ride to work on one of those old-timey bicycles with like the giant front wheel that's like totally impractical.
Drink everything out of a mason jar.
Yeah, that's I'd vote for that guy. No, I wouldn't, but that's basically this guy. That would be this guy if he didn't live in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But since he does live in San Francisco, he writes.
Right. If you lived in Silver Lake.
Yeah. Oh, Silver Lake.
Would Silver Lake make you mad?
Yeah.
What did it do to you?
I went to this vegetarian Vietnamese restaurant there, and it was the most pompous, pretentious fart knocker conference ever. Like it was. It was like a boner convention.
Wait, was it almost all white in there?
It was, but that's not the problem.
Oh, I went there.
It's like
I forget what it's called.
It's a bunch of people eating vegetarian pho and talking about how authentic it is. Like, I don't understand.
Well, maybe they boiled a vegan cow for 3 days.
It's so authentic. I was in a ramen restaurant the other night downtown called Daikokuya. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've been there.
It's really popular.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's pretty good. I was sitting next to these three guys who were talking about other ramen restaurants, right? Because you're in a ramen restaurant, all you want to talk about is ramen.
Right, so when you get high, you just want to talk about getting high.
Right. So they were talking about this other place, and one guy went off on this monologue about how the noodles were curly, and how, most people would think that was authentic. I mean, inauthentic.
Nani?
But in reality, it was more authentic.
Masaka!
And that the ramen was good and authentic. He said this word like 50 times. That it was authentic, but the problem was that the egg was cooked all the way through, which was like this travesty to him, and that there was a little bit of that gray thing in the yolk that started coming up, and it rendered the whole dish inedible. Inedible. Just disgusting to him. And his other friend was saying that, yeah, that sounds like those people that put lime on arugula. And
what's wrong with putting lime on arugula?
Well, it's the act of a Philistine, basically. And the third guy goes on to say, well, I'd like lemon on my arugula. And they said, oh, that's fine, but lime on arugula? Ugh. That's the problem with LA. I just can't. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that listen to that story, me telling that story, and just being like, what? What's the punchline? That whole story is a punchline. I just can't take it. That's what drives me crazy around here. Everywhere I go, it seems like people are trying to prove how authentically they like something here in LA. It's like the whole city is just trying to prove to each other how much they like whatever they're sitting there liking.
Well, that's what Instagram's for.
It's driving me nuts. I can't take it. No. It's just too much.
Well, I'm sure.
Just eat it. Just eat it and shut your yap and be like, this is good. Right?
I feel like what I just had for lunch was very authentic. And
doesn't matter if it's authentic. Does it really matter if it's authentic?
Okay.
The only thing that's truly authentic, the only thing that goes back to the original way it was cooked is like a dead carcass dropped on a fire. Because all food derives from dead carcass dropped on a fire. That's the only authentic dish.
I feel like you could do really
well.
That's
the way they did it.
I could feel like you could do really well with a restaurant called Dead Carcass on Fire if you opened up on La Cienega in Beverly Hills.
Right? It's like paleo diet.
There are like paleo places.
It's just going to be a bowl of acorns and like a deer on some like hot coals, and you got to like dig its bloody carcass and put it on your plate. In fact, no plates. You just got to stand there. You got to stand there and just shove like pseudo raw organs into your yap. So you shut it.
So I think you could do that.
That's what I'm going to call my restaurant. Shut it. That's just what it's going to be. And anytime somebody makes a comment, shut it.
I feel like you have the right amount of disdain to open a restaurant.
I think so, right? That's how the really new culinary trends start. Is by hating your customers.
Right.
I can do that.
I mean that's like how you invest in the stock market.
That is how I invest in the stock market. Although I haven't finished writing my book on that yet.
Oh, okay.
But look for it in bookstores in 10 years when I finally get around to finishing it. Despite vesting.
Yeah. I should have my PhD by then.
Yeah. I'm going to write that book. It's going to happen.
I'll totally get my doctorate, too.
I'm totally going to write that novel someday.
The great American T-Rex.
Anyway.
So e-voting, we looked it up.
E-voting, yeah.
And it's the letter E.
If you like the idea of e-voting, and you like binary...
vote for Hanania. Yes.
These are interesting guys.
Yeah, here we go.
So here, let's start with Jason Krause. Jason Krause, he looks like a villain from a James Bond movie. He looks like a nice guy.
He's smiling.
He's bald, and he has kind of this... He's got that goatee mustache combo that like Snidely Whiplash had.
Oh, yeah,
you know, he's got that sort of like 1910s villain look. Seems like a nice guy. The one thing I noticed, though, is that he's got the election year off in his statement, and he says, Jason Krause, United States Senate, 2017, year off. I hope that doesn't hurt his chances. Because I would vote for him in 2017.
He's going to show up to the Senate like a year late, disappointed.
Yeah, and he doesn't have anything too outstanding in terms of what he believes in. Nothing that's too out there.
Personal Responsibility Act of 2017.
Yeah, he's got something about the year 2017, but he drafted the U.S. Personal Responsibility Act of 2017. And in it, he says that no tax shall be levied on anyone or anything, including or pertaining to income, capital gains, death, payroll, alternative minimum, corporate, etc. So he's not a believer in individual taxes. So he's another guy who believes in consumption tax, sales tax.
Oh, he believes in sales tax?
He wants Mark Zuckerberg to increase his calorie intake to 37 trillion calories a day, and we will have paved roads.
As long as Angelina Jolie buys that $15,000 dildo.
27,000 times a day.
Actually,
I don't think these people have a concept of how much like 300 million people consume. I don't think Mark Zuckerberg can make up for the consumption of 275 million people. That is a lot of hot dogs.
Did I email that to you? It was a $15,000 gold vibrator.
Did she actually buy one?
Gwyneth Paltrow did.
Really?
Yeah, you want me to show it to you?
No.
Hold on, it's got multiple speeds on it.
Well, for that much money, I would hope it would. So he's actually, thought this out kind of carefully. He's got a graduated tax rate here. He's got exemptions listed, and don't think you're going to be taxed on everything. It seems like he exempts things that poor families would need. Fresh fruits and vegetables are exempt. Your first residential home is tax exempt. All your stocks and mutual funds and exchange-traded funds will be only taxed at the time of purchase and not at the time of selling. I, as an investor, would appreciate that, actually. But salted nuts, not exempt. You buy your nuts with no salt.
Why?
Because salted nuts are a luxury.
Fuck him. I love salted nuts.
Anything with added sugar or sugar substitutes, excluded. You drink, well, I guess water. That's it.
What about coffee?
Well, if you get sugar in it, no. No sugar. No canned fruits or vegetables. That's fine. But no salted nuts. Remember that. A vote for Jason Krause is a vote for no salted nuts.
God, even cashews.
It doesn't say specifically, but I think it falls under the nut provision.
God.
This is where this is where I kind of diverge from Mr. Krause. He believes that while we shouldn't be paying an income tax, we do need to pay a yearly United States military and protection tax on all United States citizens at or above the age of 18.
So you mean we have to pay protection? That sounds like the mafia.
Does sound like mafia. I did say he looks a little villainous.
I think this is just the mafia fielding a candidate in secret.
So
there's a pretty good country you got there. It'd be a shame if anything were to happen to it.
It's $250 per citizen each year.
Oh, check it out. Okay, so the people that make that $15,000 vibrator are also launching a condom. Here, check out what a $15,000 vibrator is.
I hope it's reusable. It should be reusable for that price.
Yeah, it's probably made of like carbon nanotubes.
But it should be like an Uber service. Like, you don't want to clean it yourself. You need to like use an app to make somebody pick it up and clean it.
Oh my god, I would love to have that kind of money to make somebody come by and wash out my condoms for me. I am so tired of doing it myself.
This is so gross. All right, back to the election.
This thing's got 4 speeds.
I would expect more speeds for that.
$15,000.
You know, if you got that kind of money,
that's getting up to that's close to a down payment on a condo.
Yeah, nothing that Gwyneth Paltrow would stay in though.
That's true.
She wouldn't even spend $15,000 on like food at a grocery store. Like it's disgusting to her. Anyway, so Jason Krause is saying $250 per citizen per year, due on July 4th, to cover the costs of the military, which includes the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, CIA, FBI, Department of Defense, the U.S. Marshals, and U.S. Border Patrol. Notice that the TSA is not on that list.
I can say even people who are that filled with rage and insanity still don't like the TSA.
Yeah. I mean, does anybody like the TSA?
I don't even know if the TSA likes the TSA.
I'm sure they hate this. They're not happy with
their life is reduced to yelling at people for not putting things in 100 ml bottles in Ziploc bags.
Yeah, taking juice from kids and they have a job. I'm not faulting them as individuals. It's a system that doesn't work.
It's basically, imagine the post office if the post office job was to take your packages and throw them in the dumpster.
So $250 per citizen, 300 million people. What does that work out to?
300 million people at how many per person?
Well, let's just say it's 400 million at 250 per citizen. So it'd be
$10 billion.
$10 billion. $10 billion to fund the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, CIA, FBI, Department of Defense, U.S. Marshals, and U.S. Border Patrol.
I think it would work pretty well if they volunteered.
Think that's enough? I don't know. Nah. Moving on. All health care coverage and retirement packages given to current and all former members of Congress will be repealed.
Why would anyone want to do that job then?
Corruption.
Oh.
Corruption and graft.
I'm going to just steal my retirement package now.
He's a believer in a federal voter picture ID.
Okay.
Seems okay. Banks and brokerages, investment firms, private equity firms, etc. will be separated. He's a Glass-Steagall fan, apparently. That's okay. All federal government housing programs will be discontinued. Homelessness for everyone. I haven't really thought of the issue very carefully, but that's a bold statement. I need more information telling me why that's a good idea.
Because the sidewalks are really wide. You could fit a lot of people on sidewalks.
If the Koch brothers would just eat a little more salami daily, we could probably afford it. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
That must be really amazing salami.
Well, it gets amazing after you eat about 47,000 truckloads of it, which is what they need to eat per hour. The United States federal government will structurally and electronically secure and physically man the United States southern border. All for $10 billion.
Wow.
He's got a pretty well thought out immigration plan too, involving, temporary stays and requiring them to get work and proving that they stayed out of trouble for so many years. Like he's actually one of the few that's actually thought about his ideas. Don't know if they work, but he might have thought them out when he was writing his novel. He's a novelist, by the way.
Oh, that's right.
And he wrote a book called Late Bird.
Yes.
I'm not sure why it's Late Bird. I assume it's not dead.
I think it's about a bird that doesn't show up on time.
But there's a description here.
Right.
And I guess his character is named Falcon Sane. Sane, because he's, I guess, a sane...
So there's
he's bringing sanity to America.
Yeah, and it's
a guy, looks like he's about 12.
With the American flag
painted on his face, pretty sloppily. And here's a little excerpt from the book, I guess. When asked why, he answered, "So I can help people." During a period of political and social unrest in the United States, tender-hearted Falcon travels through youth into adulthood, crossing the paths of love, corruption, and power in search of the American dream. Freedom. Despite incredible odds, he never gives up, never gives in, and never loses sight of who he is. His quests carry him, and this is where he describes the adventure. It's riveting. Carry him into the wilderness of the Idaho mountains. Are there mountains in Idaho?
Yes, there are.
Oh, that's great.
Look on a map.
I thought it was flat. I thought that part of the country was flat.
The southeast part where they filmed Napoleon Dynamite's flat.
Well, that's probably the part he's talking about. There's no mountains there. No.
There are. That's the north part where the white supremacists lived.
Well, maybe that's... Okay. Maybe that's what he's... maybe that's part of his adventure here.
Oh.
Into the belly of a foul, profiteering county jail. Clamped in the jaws of an unethical corporation and ultimately to a long-desired romance.
He's 12.
Yeah, it doesn't say he's 12. It's just the picture on the front looks like he's 12.
Oh.
Maybe it's a girl on the internet. Can't tell. 47-year-old Romanian man pretending to be 17. As a successful businessman, and with an incredible woman at his side, Falcon turns his passion towards fixing the corruption of his beloved America and runs for president. His message is clear. United, we can make a difference. Something tells me that Jason Krause's Late Bird. I just got it. Late Bird. Jason Krause for Senate 2017.
Oh, he's
late to the election.
And he's a bird.
Wait,
that's just like...
a sexy bird.
He's just like that bird dating sim come to life.
No, really. Is that really like his joke?
Maybe.
Krause for Senate 2017, and he wrote a book called Late Bird, where he runs for president. I don't know. All right, I'm going to have to ponder that for a while.
Okay, so I don't think we have much longer to ponder because it looks like the world's going to melt. So we should probably talk about the candidate who's really worried about the planet melting.
Yeah, the planet melting. Mike Badix,
yeah.
No party preference.
Really?
Kind of looks like Raffi.
And his website is called iwillnotdo.org.
I just like to point out in his candidate statement in this book, it says, I will not do nothing. I swear on the graves of future Californians that I will not sacrifice our actual climate to our political climate. Future Californians.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what he's talking
about. On his website, he's got like a little slideshow, and the first one goes, I am scared, and he's smiling.
Why aren't we all screaming, he says.
For the love of God, anything. What is so hard to understand about this? And we're literally going to die.
I'd like to point out that like that last slide that says we are literally going to die.
Yeah.
He's like totally shirtless.
Yeah.
He's a hairy man.
That's probably why he's so hot.
If you want a hairy man in Senate, Mike Badix.
It's probably really warm for him because of that.
That should be a slogan.
I mean,
Mike Badix 2016, hairy man.
So
he should shave the beard if it's too hot.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So here we go. This is his website. It says ISIS, immigration reform, the NSA, gun control, the end of the two-party system as we know it. What do all these terrifying issues for the 2016 election have in common? Okay, the end of the two-party system as we know it does not seem that terrifying. I think we deserve worse. All right. Anyway, none of them matter because we're all going to die. That's in large letters. Every forecast on climate change predicts severe consequences without dramatic measures, and yet federal legislators do essentially nothing. In light of this, I offer myself as a candidate for the U.S. Senate. Big letters again. If elected, I vow to address global warming like a human being with basic reasoning and any sense of proportion. In other words, a dramatic measure. Please vote for me, if for no other reason than at least so we don't all die. That is actually what he wrote in his campaign statement. He's got a bunch of embedded videos in here.
Well, so you know, he doesn't really describe what he's planning to do, but I've got this article from MSNBC, and they list some of his ideas here. So one of the things he promises to do is to take all the rich people's money and all the poor people's money and put it towards fighting climate change. In Beddick's world, they quote, nobody gets money anymore until no more climate change. He also promises no new jobs. And his reasoning here is good. And MSNBC quotes him as saying, "Everyone I know hates their jobs," he writes. "And it's a little odd to promise more of something so many people end up hating. Plus, jobs create a lot of CO2. He's serious. He's thought about this. He'd like to withdraw all troops from the Middle East and redeploy them in people's driveways to make sure they're not lazily using their cars for local errands."
Should we just breathe more slowly too?
His whole campaign has this undercurrent of humor, right? This is meant to be a satire, one would hope, and but he does make this statement, and I think this is part of the interview with MSNBC. He says, "When you really get down to it, isn't the government's job supposed to be first and foremost about making us safe and making sure we don't die? To me, this is all just a rational position." So, this is one of those things that, you might be like, that guy's hilarious. He knows what's right. He's just saying the opposite. And we elect him, and it turns out he's Hitler.
Yeah, can't think of any candidate running right now that's like that.
But, don't take it from me. He's actually one of the few candidates that have actual videos.
Well, his of all the candidate websites we've been looking at lately, his is like the best made.
It is. It's a quality website.
Yeah. Do you want me to play one of the clips here?
California. If you're like Mike Badix, you've looked at our beautiful, vibrant state and thought, wow, climate change is going to kill us all. The Pacific is rising, droughts and wildfires are here to stay, and our beloved home is on the verge of uninhabitability. If you'd like a senator who will make something resembling an honest effort to stop global warming, vote for Mike Badix. Badix will combat climate change with rational, carefully planned policy initiatives, irrational, ill-advised one-off projects, and dedicated filibustering of all legislation that does not pertain to the survival of the species.
The important thing is that I will not do nothing.
This ad paid for by money that could have gone to carbon reduction.
There's a lot of candidates who talk about fighting money in politics, but there's only one who's training right now to literally fistfight the Koch brothers. His name is Mike Badix, and he's running for U.S. Senate. Some people are like, challenging a 75 and 80-year-old man to a fistfight isn't good bipartisanship. Well, you know what? I say talk is cheap. David and Charles Koch. Why don't you put your money where your mouth is, and then Mike Badix will put his fist where your money is.
Great videos. Mike Badix for Senate will not do nothing.
I will not do nothing too.
So the one thing I will say though is that if we elect him, maybe we'll get more videos like that. And the country will be a happier place.
I feel like we've saved the best candidate for last year.
Well, yeah. And part of me is I feel a little...
She's got a picture of Lincoln next to her.
I feel bad, because she seems like she's really genuine here. Like, she says what she believes. It's just that what she believes is a little ridiculous, I think. So, Massey Monroe is running on the Democratic ticket. She lives in Glendale. I know where Glendale is. That's one of the places I do know.
Where's Glendale?
Glendale is downtown.
It's not downtown.
To me, it's downtown. To me, everything south of the mountain and north of LAX is downtown.
Okay, so it's actually not north of the mountain. It is...
No, I said south of the mountain.
Okay.
It's south of the mountains, north of LAX.
Okay, so it's...
To me, there's only one mountain, and that's in Canada.
All right, Glendale is north of downtown because I'm so tired of people...
It's practically downtown to people like
Glendale
me,
and
live in suburbs.
Glendale and Burbank and Van Nuys is not LA. Those are separate cities.
Anyway, we can gerrymander the voting lines later. So where do you start? I don't even know where to start. So she, in her statement, Massey Monroe is one of the few candidates that put out really long statements, and she proposes that she will transform the industrial technology age to the new energy technology era that will saturate U.S. job markets for the next 500 years.
It's pretty amazing since our country is not 500 years old yet.
Right, the Industrial Revolution wasn't 500 years long, and that was pretty amazing. So she's promising 500 years of a saturated U.S. job market.
That's like only about half as good as what Hitler promised.
She wants to end international bankers' rule and their financial exploitation of nations. Good stuff. Reestablishing people's rule by creating a citizens' bank to serve as America's central bank. Not so bad. She wants to end mind control slavery.
What is mind control slavery?
What is mind control slavery? That's probably something to do with the GOP.
No, we actually looked this up. What is mind control slavery? Good question, me. I looked it up. Here is the website. Mind control slavery in the New World Order. All right. So, remember the Nazis, men?
Not firsthand.
Okay. So, the Nazis were bad people, and they're German. Okay.
Well, aren't you just kind of generalizing here?
I guess you're right.
They weren't all German.
That's true. Some of them were other countries in Europe that like to pretend that they didn't help the Nazis. France. Anyway, so after World War II, this part is true. There was something called Project Paperclip. Project Paperclip was this great thing where we took all these Nazi scientists and said, I hope you feel really bad. Anyway, we need to get to the moon now, so if you could build us some spaceships, that'd be really great. That was Project Paperclip, essentially. We got all these really awesome German engineers, and, you know.
And they cheated on all their emission standards, and we destroyed our environment.
Pretty much.
Getting to the moon.
But we got our flag on the moon, and that's what was important.
Well, we could have nuked the moon.
That was, okay. So,
Carl Sagan.
Carl Sagan in the late 60s at the Illinois Institute of Technology Research Institute did propose detonating a nuke on the side of the moon as a show of power to the Russians.
You can actually download that entire study. They published the study.
I know.
I think it was called like Project A11 or something.
Yeah. So anyway, that has nothing to do with mind control slavery, although it is very interesting. So, Project Paperclip. So apparently, those Nazi scientists didn't just do things like help us build better spaceships. Apparently, we also used them for the development of mind control weapons, aka mind control slavery. And this has something to do with the New World Order, apparently.
Well, of course.
So, her big thing is that Massey Monroe is freaked out about our satellites controlling our minds. These are the same satellites, mind you, that sometimes lose connection with my phone and I can't find Thai restaurants.
Well, I mean, one could argue that, you know, the satellites are beaming down living with the Kardashians, and that's kind of manipulating people's minds.
I guess it caused that one dude to chop off his dick.
What? Oh, Bruce Jenner?
Oh, that's what his name is, yeah.
Oh, Caitlyn Jenner?
Yeah.
Well, he was on the show. He didn't watch the show.
Oh.
He was more like the catalyst. He wasn't the victim.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's poetry.
Yeah.
Wonder what happened to his penis.
Probably in the trash somewhere. Maybe it's in the Smithsonian. He was an Olympian, after all. Can you imagine that, sitting there next to, like, Dorothy's shoes from Wizard of Oz?
Bruce Jenner's dick. Oh, okay. Yes, very serious. All right. So that's her big issue. She wants to stop mind control slavery. And,
well, you know, she played a big role in exposing mind control slavery.
And the
in her statement, she says that through her national and international research and political activism, She identified mind control slavery by satellite energy technology weapons and social engineering programs that have been in continual development for the past 50 years. She facilitated the declassification of these programs. And as a result, she's come under heavy sanctions that are ongoing. What are these heavy sanctions? Well, I took a look. I took a look on Google to see what she was involved in. And apparently, there was a case that was decided in April of 2009, case of Monroe versus LA County Civil Service. And in it, she was discharged from her job with the LA County Civil Service for, and I quote, threatening and intimidating statements about guns and shooting people in the workplace, disruptive behavior, and failure to comply with supervisory instructions. I'm guessing those supervisory instructions were to not threaten to shoot people in the face.
I think that she was trying to dislodge the mind control units from people's brains with a bullet.
Maybe. And mind you, they did not, apparently, at least from this brief, which I'm looking at, her lawyers didn't argue that she was wrongfully discharged because it didn't happen. They were just complaining that they filed really, really late and should have been allowed to file really, really late. So she, too, probably really good at filibustering.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shooting people in the face.
So, anyway, if you read more about the mind control slavery thing, it looks, a lot of stuff's mentioned here, like multiple personality disorder, high-level pedophilia.
Is autism in there?
No.
Vaccines?
No, surprisingly not autism vaccines or indigo children.
Indigo children.
Oh, you don't know about indigo children?
I do know about indigo children.
Oh, okay.
They were like all those kids that were misdiagnosed with having the ability to see auras, right, in the 80s or something.
Right, and they probably just had ADD.
Because they had indigo-colored auras.
Yeah.
What color is your aura?
Chartreuse. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of, I'm amazed. But she talks about MK Ultra. You know about MK Ultra, right?
Of course.
Okay, so... And, oh, okay. You know about Todd? All right, so there's also Illuminati, more pedophilia.
So is Illuminati some type of pasta? Sounds delicious.
I think it's the pasta that is got the pyramid with the eyeball over it. Multi-mode programming.
Multi-mode programming? I hear that's hot in Silicon Valley right now.
Yeah, apparently it's about programming people for slavery, and sexual slavery specifically.
If that were a thing, I'm positive every frat in the country would know how to do that by now.
I think they just beat people down and then make them hate themselves, and then people have sex with them. Oh, there we go. So the Illuminati. Yeah, it is the floaty
apparently, the Illuminati is the dollar bill.
Yeah.
Oh. And Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders is the Illuminati?
Colonel Sanders. He's got the little...
Oh, because somebody photoshopped that, yeah.
Perhaps the Illuminati photoshopped it. And
Obama.
Lady Gaga. Obama. Beyonce is in the Illuminati, apparently.
Nice.
And, I don't know who that is.
That's... is that Rihanna?
An angry woman with pink hair. Squidward is in the Illuminati. The Beatles, apparently, and that girl from Harry Potter.
Nutella.
Captain America is in the Illuminati. Wow, Google knows everything.
Wow.
Anyway.
It's a good thing nobody can look this up. Satanism, satanic ritual murder, crypto-Satanism, spiritual warfare, and satanic imperialism. That sounds like a really amazing Rolling Stones album.
So she believes in all this stuff.
Yes.
Or that's the implication.
Yeah, she's talking about the battle.
She doesn't talk about satanic imperialism directly. I read her website. I didn't see anything in there.
Right, but if you look up mind control slavery,
Her website's actually pretty bland.
Right. But if you look at mind control slavery, this is the rabbit hole you fall down.
It's funny, though, because I was reading her website, and I didn't see anything about mind control slavery. She just kind of thought she'd
throw it out there,
whip it out in the candidate statement. But in here, she just says, like, she was a civil engineer, got her master's degree from Loyola Marymount.
Hey.
Did water quality and quantity and water law. Just like...
hey, I worked on water quality stuff.
Bird law, and you're the Massey Monroe of the next generation.
Nice.
She did 2 TV shows, one on green building, clean energy, and environmental issues, and the other on the U.S. Constitution, universal ethics, United Nations Declaration on Human Rights, and various aspects and applications of energy and nanotechnology, energy weapons, and non-consensual human experimentation.
There we go.
There it is. There it is.
So it's really kind of like the subliminal messaging people from, like, you know, the subliminal messaging thing from Saturday Night Live, where they would just like randomly throw out phrases while they're talking. So she just like says like really low key things, and then every once in a while just says like satanic imperialism and then tax reform.
So, so the short end of the story is this lady exposed the Illuminati's plan to control the world through slavery by using energy satellite technology, and she's being persecuted for it. And the only way that she can take down the global shadow government is by joining the government as your United States Senator in 2016.
Waving the gun around.
I kind of wish she hadn't done a shout-out to Bernie Sanders here. I'm a Sanders supporter, and right at the end of this, she says, Senator Bernie Sanders' presidency is crucial for bringing her vision into reality.
Right, because Bernie Sanders is totally against mind control slavery.
Well, you know, one of the requirements of being in the Illuminati is that you comb your hair. So that's why Albert Einstein wasn't in the Illuminati. Bob Barker is, though.
Oh.
Bob Barker. Luke Perry is in the Illuminati.
The Fonz.
Yeah, the Fonz. Henry Winkler. But not Bernie Sanders. Not you either, Levi.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
who else has wild hair? Bozo the Clown is not a member of the Illuminati.
So Jimmy Buffett's not.
Jimmy Buffett.
I mean, I guess well, you found somebody who, you know, made you feel disappointed in Sanders, and I found people that made me feel disappointed in voting Libertarian.
It doesn't make me feel disappointed in Sanders. It just, I don't know how I'd describe it. It does make me a little sad. Because, you know, I don't think any Sanders supporter is going to read this and go like, oh God, I need to protect the Illuminati. I need to stop them now.
That's what it usually sounds like to me.
So, those are our candidates.
By the way, that's not even all of the candidates.
No, there's this guy here, Tim Gildersleeve.
Who looks like a scumbag. He's got an arched eyebrow in his campaign photo.
He looks like such a gangster. He's got this little smirk and he's cocked eyebrow.
Hey, I can get you elevated pool for your backyard.
You want a toe? I can get you a toe. With nail polish. The favorite for the election is this person, Kamala Harris, Democrat.
Yeah.
Nothing interesting about her.
She has a real page.
Yeah, she has a real webpage and a real statement.
And she has been in office.
She's probably going to win.
Oh my God. You know, that's the sad thing is that we can look through 35 of these, and then 34 of them are just insane. So we're just like, oh yeah.
So for the one that's not nuts.
Right. So I guess what we're saying is that yeah, you have a choice, but you really shouldn't. So vote in 2016.
You know, I will say, I see a lot of people here, and I think a lot of them are kind of nutty, and they're not prepared for the job, and they don't really understand what the role is. But a lot of them seem like they have heart. Like they want to do something. They're putting effort into this.
They have heart, but they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
But if only there was some candidate for the Pirate Party who would run in 2022.
Yeah. And is accepting donations now.
Jointhepower.org.
That might be a real website. You might have just sent a whole bunch of people to donate to like some like
white power,
racist, genocidal, like
God damn it,
child slavery group or something.
All right. Well, just hold on to your money.
Hold on to your money. Hold on to your U.S. notes.
Yes. And your
get ready to e-vote. And thank your lucky stars. You're not a mental slave.
Yeah.
And vote for whoever. Vote for President Christina Grappo.
For Senate.
This is an official endorsement.
Thank you. I think we should close out with a song from Ling
Ling Shi. That's what we'll leave you with. This will be, let's see. Father, I Hear Your Voice by Ling Shi. It's religious, but let it leave you on a positive note. And vote smart, vote often, vote daily, and always remember to floss.
Please